everybody, to another episode of It's On Us podcast. From my left to my right, I got the one and only Mr. Osh Blair.
Yo.
Then you got the one and only Mr. John, that guy Schrader.
Yerp.
Cliff, that's Ray Saunders. And a truly special guest.
Oh, man.
I say that about all of our guests, but this one is, I had to do extensive research. And when I do research, I'm like, man, I had multiple tabs opened up. Can we give it up for the one and only Mr. Elijah Fraizer?
I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Okay. Yeah.
Hope you have some Tylenol too, because I know you get headaches when you research.
Oh man.
Damn, we're going like that. Haven't been on the show for a minute, just taking shots at it.
It's been a while. I got edited out the last one. Amari, he was a handful, but I'm glad to be back. I'm happy to be back.
That's love, man.
Glad you're back. So before we start with the questions, how was everybody's week?
It's been productive. I will say a lot of things are happening for me because I'm intentionally making them happen. So I'm very grateful for the things that's progressing slowly in my life. So it's just staying on the path, staying consistent, and letting everything fall into place how it should. So
gotcha.
I missed you, man.
Yeah,
I've been missing you. See?
Hey,
we kind of got the
I'm traveling the world, man.
You looking good.
I was in Chicago last week.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
You flicked the bean.
Yeah, I flicked the bean.
That's what's up.
Congratulations. You flicked the mighty bean. I drove all the way to Chicago to flick the bean, but yeah, it was fun. Very cold in Chicago, but I'll definitely go back in the summertime. Honestly,
yeah, I want to go. I want to go there with you, man.
Yeah, Garrett's popcorn, it's a little overrated.
Shots taken.
Their deep dish pizza is amazing.
Okay. No shit.
Yeah, just the whole culture in Chicago is oh
yeah,
it's awesome. You guys definitely have to make that trip though, but.
Okay, nice.
John,
I'm gonna go check it out.
This week flew by again, man. I feel like my life is speeding right now. I'm on a little high speed chase.
Okay.
My master's. I'm getting my master's.
Come on, man.
I'm proud of both.
In 3 weeks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's just one of them. I just want it to be over with, and now it's kind of coming there. So.
You can see the checkered finish.
Oh my god! Yeah, yes. I got all my cap and gown, all that ordered, and my trip traveling.
Yeah, but that's not
You gotta fix his mic.
Oh yeah, it goes limp a little bit.
You gotta tilt it.
Yeah, that mic has ED.
I just won't touch it. Good to go. Oh wait.
No, so
it's in here.
Yeah.
What if we?
Even
Perfect.
All right.
That's perfect.
But yeah, otherwise, good week. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
We're gonna dive in here. I can't wait to dive in. So
we've been waiting.
Elijah, how was your week?
It was good. Very productive. It did fly by. So very good. Very productive. Feel good. Got some good things accomplished. Man, I'm sorry to say, but I've been out the gym for a little bit. And I was back in this past week.
Good.
Feeling good.
And I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm back in that groove. But yeah, it was good.
It helps so much on so many different levels of life, but definitely.
Yeah. So that's my highlight so far this week.
Mr. Cliff?
I find it funny everybody's starting to realize how fast time is going ever since July when I told you scientists discovered the earth sped up. And they still haven't gave an explanation as to why that happened because I'm waiting for that. And as for me, I've had a long week. Won't really dive into it because I've made it through it, and I've been working like a thief in the night behind the scenes on some stuff, and I can't wait for it to come out by the summer.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
It's good.
Mysterious. I like it.
Mysterious. Smooth in the shadows.
Yeah. So Jacob, I know you've been itching to do this.
Oh man,
go ahead.
Oh, I get to ask questions now?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, so Mr. Elijah, are you ready?
What about you?
Oh,
yeah. How was your week, man?
Man, adjusting to being more of a stay-at-home father since I started working again. So doing that, and then yesterday, man, I was working. Parker, then Lola came over.
I wonder if we could
Yep.
We need a Phillips.
I don't have
a Phillips screwdriver.
I think we just gonna let the weight go that way.
Yeah,
that's
there
perfect because he's talking towards the front of the mic.
Perfect.
There you go.
We good.
Well, yeah, just yesterday was one of those days. I was like, bro, yeah. When you come home, I'm leaving. I need a break. But besides that, just learning, educating myself more about different side hustles and stuff like that, and really just honing in on what I want to do. You know, because I've come to the realization that there's probably 50% chance that I'll ever work for another business again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, that's fine.
You're comfortable in the space of like being your own boss, but you know the responsibility that comes with being your own boss. Everybody isn't meant to be their own boss. It's okay to have a job.
I've been doing that shit for like 5-6 years now. Like,
See?
it's just, you know, I learned how to make it a living for myself.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the structure, I think. Because you're a structured person, so that works.
Structure is so important to a business.
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't think that, then like it's crazy, because you need a solid foundation. It goes into business, which segues into you, Mr. You know, everything up under the sun, CEO, author.
Oh man,
you know, motivational speaker.
He's a serial entrepreneur.
So, what is it that led you down this road of being all these different man of many hats?
I mean, a couple of different things. To be honest, I actually, for a very long time, and we'll get into that in a little bit, I feel, but for a very long time, I was actually ashamed to have multiple things going on. Like it didn't fit in with what I was surrounded by. But there just comes a time, if you listen, if you have been put in a position to where you don't become numb enough, it'll just be something you can't ignore anymore. And I can remember, I could tell this story like it just happened this morning. Just at work, you know, doing my thing, you know, just working. I believe at this time I was, I think it was like 17 or 18. I was working at the Dollar Movie over there in Richmond Heights. And I think it was an AJ Wright over there. I had 2 jobs.
I miss AJ Wright so bad.
Man, Marshall's is kind of helping, but man, AJ Wright was that.
Man, AJ Get Right.
Was that?
AJ Get Right. Yep.
AJ Get Right. So, have you ever seen those movies to where, almost like in first person, like something happens, whether the person is like at war or they just zone out for a second and like their vision becomes blurry and like the voices in the back become like Charlie Brown, like wah, wah, wah. Like you just kind of, vision gets blurry, sound goes out. I had a real life moment like that.
Wow, it's like you almost got hit by a flashbang or something.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. And I'm standing there. I'm ringing this guy out. He had just got a shirt. And I'm ringing him out. And I'm like, hey, you know, when you work in a place for a certain amount of time, you begin to pick up on people's patterns, how things move throughout the day. And I'm here in the middle of work, maybe 2:00 in the afternoon. And I see him come in and he's like, yeah, you know, I just need a shirt. My wife called me. She said she wants to take the kids out. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, but you can't do that. You're at work. Like, how you going? You got to be at work right now. You can't just go out in the middle of the day. Right. And I actually said this to him. I'm like, but how? I'm like, you don't have to work today? This and that. He was like, oh, no, I work for myself. And it happened. Boom. Vision went. Sound went. Like, this is new information to me.
That's right.
I've never heard anything like this before. I'm like, what do you mean you work for yourself? Still at this age, 17 or 18, I had never heard the word entrepreneur.
So it shook up your matrix, your whole world. Like nobody's ever really like promoted that to you.
It was the way he said it. Like everything all at once. I'm in the middle of the day. Everybody is doing what I'm doing. Nobody's free right now. Nobody's walking in. None of this is happening. And here you come getting a shirt, touching me, saying, no, it's possible.
Gave you an epiphany.
And it hit me like, and I got bit. I was like possessed almost. Like, what happened? I kid you not. I wrung him out. And I walked right out the front door.
Oh,
that was the moment.
Really?
I walked right out the front door.
He set him out. He said,
you can't. I've seen it. I've tasted it. I've heard like it. Somebody's doing it. And a lot of times, what's unfortunate with some people is we will not take advantage of an opportunity or something that is for us or something that we desire if everybody else around us isn't. Somebody could offer you the opportunity of a lifetime, and the first thing you do is see if anybody else is doing it first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Groupthink.
Like if you are walking through the desert with 10,000 other people, and you've been battling the elements, and you are hungry, and you are thirsty, and you are all of these things, you have all of these appetites, and somebody comes along and says, I have shelter, I have food, I have water, I have everything you need.
You got to go this way.
You got to go this way, though. Some people, like me,
True that.
I'm going to stop you in the middle of your sentence. Let's go.
Yep, same.
Let's go.
Bro,
He sold me.
I've been doing this for weeks and this ain't working.
But
I'm willing to die to do something different.
But there are some people who will be in that same position, and the first thing they'll do is look at the person next to them and say, will you still accept me if I do this?
True.
So are they seeking that confirmation from someone else instead of themselves, or how does that go?
Well, it's...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, no, because I think of it like, I think I've been guilty of this. You can ask somebody, hey, I'm about to do this. What do you think? But I think it's also like you want to hear somebody else's opinion just so you can see it from their point of view.
Or maybe even reason your thought.
Right.
Like reason.
Because perspective is so important too.
It is.
So it's to where it's like, some people might do it to get approval, like you said, like want to just fit in. But some people might generally want to do it just to be like, you know what, maybe I'm too hot-headed right now. I need to level myself out and maybe get somebody else's perspective of this and not make decisions so quick. That's all.
Yeah, in some cases, I would say so. A lot of it is grooming, though.
Okay.
A lot of it is grooming, and a lot of us don't realize that we have. Well, you have two sorts of people. I feel you have people who are leaders, real life influencers, people who are called. This isn't always your presidents or your governors or you have people that are meant to make noise and shake things up and disrupt the market and lead. And look at the people who have done it. Your Malcolm X's, your Martin Luther King's. These people got into positions of power and got titles, but they were always that person. You see what I'm saying? Right. And it doesn't just boil down to even just black people who are doing this. Is anyone who's okay with going against the grain.
Right.
But a lot of us are not comfortable with not fitting in, for one. And in turn, we are groomed to fit in, but it's also being stripped of what was given to you and only you. And a lot of people walk around with things that we can't find anywhere else, but the world never discovers them because you trade acceptance for identity.
Talk about it, man.
You trade acceptance for identity. So let's just say we get to the end of this thing called life. What happens is this is the detriment, the fault that it ends up being. You will actually have your name called at the end of this thing, and you won't be present. You ever seen a teacher take attendance? Hey, John, you here? I'm here. Right. Ashley, you here? I'm here. Elijah. Oh no, Elijah's John now. Because along the way, Elijah wanted to be so accepted that he traded his name and his identity to be something else that he wasn't called to be. So now we don't know where he is. You just look like the rest of them.
Gotcha.
You don't. Your name doesn't ring a bell. I have your name on the sheet. I see all the things that were for you. I see all the things that you were supposed to do and accomplish, and the things that you were supposed to change. But acceptance and comfortability and being accepted was more important to you. It felt better. So not only are you not here to receive what it is you were supposed to receive, but there are also people out there who are still lacking because you never released what was given to you and only you. And at that point, I just couldn't have that blood on my hands. Because it's interesting because you'll start something for yourself. But when you really accept it and put it on, you will now begin to live for other people because your gift isn't for you.
Facts.
Your gift is to give away. Name a person who has a gift
that keeps it
and keeps it.
Yeah.
Why are gifts around? Why were they were created to give away?
I mean, just to bring up a good analogy, if you're a Bible reader, that's why God says we're here to be in service to others.
Yeah.
If you use your gift properly, you will service other people naturally. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I totally digest what you're saying, and it all makes sense.
No, and I appreciate that. A lot of people think that we receive from other people. It's not that. You can walk into a realm, you can walk into an arena and do what you're supposed to do, and it will give back to you. I have never walked into a gym and the people there have made me stronger.
Facts.
True. Okay.
I've gone into the gym and I played around and messed around what was in the arena. The people didn't give that to me. I did what I was supposed to do when I walked in there. And a lot of people just aren't comfortable with that. Well, what if I fail? What if nobody accepts me? What if this doesn't work? Well, let's just talk to the people who are afraid of failure. The worst case scenario, if you're watching, if you're listening, the worst case scenario, if you get out there and you try and you believe and you commit to purpose and you fail, the worst thing that can happen is you're going to end up where you already are right now.
Wow, you know what's crazy? I meant to post this on Facebook all week, but maybe I was supposed to save it for this, and I've been meaning to say this on Facebook. If you think change is scary, what's scarier is remaining in the same place 10 years from now.
Yeah.
It's better to try than not to do anything at all.
No growth is scary. So by your own admittance, you're already failing.
Yes.
What happens if you go out there, and this doesn't mean quit your job. This doesn't mean walk away from your family. This doesn't mean stop doing it. If you go out there and you fail, you still have your home, you still have your job, you still have the income, you still get to eat, you still get to clothe yourself, you still have food, you still have water. You still have all of these things. So the worst thing that can happen is you end up where you already are. So by your own definition, you're already failing.
Yep. Perfect example of that is when I was going to college.
So it doesn't make sense.
No.
I feel that.
So how did I get here? Well, how did it start? You have to stay in proximity to those things that you feel. Because the danger is when it calls your name or it taps you on your shoulder, you're too deaf and or numb to feel it or hear it. And I'm thankful that I stayed close enough to the optimism of possibilities. Now, if we're just going to be completely truthful and transparent, later on down the road, I did have to get another job because I still needed to eat and put gas in my car and stuff like that. But now I was on to something. Now I was on to something. So when I saw that something else, and for a lot of the time, I would say, I want more than other people. I want better than other people. I'm better than other people. I'm more than other people. And the truth of the matter is, I was just different. For some people, because success is relative. What success is to you may not be success to me. For you, success may be peace of mind. For me, it may be more time. And for you, it may be falling in love. Because you may have all the other things. But so for me, it wasn't that I wanted to be better or more than someone else. It was, I have discovered I'm not in the right place, and there's something different for me.
We had
we talked about that too.
Yeah, we had Cody Edwards on. This is probably 6 or 7 months ago. He's a dancer for the Cavaliers.
Nice.
on the Scream team, and he didn't make the team the first year. He knew he wanted to be. He's like, I want to be there.
Right.
He basically said, I had to find a way to get there. I had no car. He basically said, I worked jobs to get that car. I immediately quit as soon as I had enough money to get there. I knew where I was going. I didn't want to be here. And he's been on that team for 3 or 4 years straight now.
Killing it.
Yeah. So it was very that's reminiscent to how he felt his track, his mindset.
Right.
We have to have him back on. He's been hitting me up to come back on.
No, we said this. Oh, I made this post on Facebook. I'm like, you think education is expensive? Imagine the cost of ignorance.
I've seen that.
Let me give you something on that real quick. That there's a quote that says, "Ignorance is bliss."
It is.
well, if I don't know, what's the worst that can happen? I can't hurt me, and realizing, like, being out in the field, like in the world, like creating and moving and pushing and doing things. Ignorance is death. Ignorance is not you not knowing doesn't change the facts of a situation.
Yep.
Yeah. You can be in a completely brand new country and driving down their road. If you are ignorant to their speed limits, that does not mean you don't get a ticket.
True.
Hey, Elijah, welcome. Welcome to our country. Yeah. But hold this real quick. You were
running pesos.
Really, for real. You were doing 80 and the 50. Oh, well, I didn't know this. That doesn't change the facts. So what's the parallel to that? Well, I was comfortable. I was doing enough for me. It was good enough for me. But that doesn't change the facts of what you were called and created to do. So now this blood is on your hands. These things didn't happen. That person wasn't inspired. These people weren't free. And you just continue the generational curse because you wanted to stay comfortable. You wanted to ignore the speed limit that was set. I told you to drive this vehicle, drive it this fast, and drive it this direction. But you wanted to be comfortable. Your comfort does not change the facts. The facts of the matter is, I put you here for a reason. And if you do not perform and operate the way I called and created you to perform and operate, something's got to change. There will be consequences.
And I think what it is too, like, sometimes that comfortability is the sweetest death you'll ever have.
Yeah.
Because you'll just die there thinking, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, but there's so much more that you can do if you just extend yourself. Use your gift and extend it, and it's going to make room for whatever you're trying to create, whatever you're trying to do. It's all supposed to flow how it's supposed to flow.
For sure.
Like, we're here today because it was meant to happen. Yeah. Certain things are like in alignment for things to happen, so it's just like you said, being in position, trying, being in proximity of what's supposed to happen. So that's just one way to view it, though.
Right, because if you think your comfort zone is giving you exactly what you need, your gift will give you the abundance you never thought you could have.
And you can extend your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But you have to go into the uncharted waters of uncomfortability.
This group made me more comfortable to do other things.
Yeah.
It took me to realize everything I could do for this group, so it's like, oh, this ain't shit.
Well, then let's ask the question though. Then you're talking about comfort zones and where I am. I've always looked at three certain words: good, great, and purpose. And you talk to a person, you reach out to them, whatever it is. Oh, no, man, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I mean, honestly, is there anything wrong with good? Like, it's good.
It's good.
But what if you want to go be great? Or what if somebody wants to push you to go be great? And you're like, oh man, don't stay at good, man. Go be great.
Sound like Jay-Z.
Live in that.
Don't be good, my nigga. Be great.
Right. So here's the thing. Are you here to be good? Are you here to be great? Or are you here to be in purpose and have that be the position? Whatever it may be. Good can't get you what great can get you.
Correct.
But great can't get you what purpose can get you. Correct. Now, purpose can get you good and great. But staying in these zones of comfort, it is very selfish. As if you created yourself and you gave yourself purpose and you wrote your story and you designed it. You had nothing to do with the makeup of who you are. So you enter in this game and you say, but I'm going to play it by my rules. You will never win. You cannot change the rules of a game that you did not create. So when you're called, you're called. And if you're called to be good, then you'll be that. But if you're called to be great, then you need to be that. But what if your position of purpose does not line up with what you desire? Are you willing to walk in it? Are you willing to do it? And a lot of people don't. They're not. They don't want to. As for me growing up, Well, no, I think y'all podcast can handle this.
We can handle whatever.
But there was a certain type of woman that I desired as a kid.
Okay.
I mean, you brought up the Bible, you talking my language. But it says when I was a child, I thought as a child, I played as a child, talked as a child. But when I became a man, when I grew up and then I put away these childish things, and a lot of people grow up and never put away the childish things.
Oh yeah.
Or a lot of people grow up and never. Well, a lot of people grow old but never grow up.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of people grow old but never grow up.
Nope.
And it's like, well, this is the way my parents have done it. This is the way my grandparents have done it, and this is what school has taught me. And why would I ever get out of this? Because you're called. Because you have a purpose. Somebody somewhere created this thing that we live in, these governments, these educational statuses, these social statuses. Why can't you?
I agree with you, because what you just named off is what I like to call bare minimum thinking and potential. When you just refuse to tap into what you really have inside of you, and you submit to all those things you just named off.
Yeah.
You're just bare minimum living and thinking. And
somebody does have to do it.
Oh yeah, everybody has a role to play. You
that.
have to play the role.
Somebody does have to do it. But at the same time, this is the way I look at it. If my creator took the time to create me, I'm going to make sure that I am the best investment you ever made. You are going to get such a return on this investment. You're not going to put. I am the highest yielding interest bearing account you will ever invest into. You hear me? If you put $1,000 in me a year later, I'm not going to be $1,000. Mess around, be 100 bands. You are not going to take the time out of creating all that exists and get something back from. Imagine creating the sun, but you get no sunshine or no warmth.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
What you there for? To look orange?
You see what I'm saying? Imagine creating nature and it like not looking beautiful or blooming or growing. So you mean you're gonna create all these things and get all of this return on your investment, but when you get to me, I can't be late for work. Nah. You got to get a return on this.
Now you're talking about language.
And then with you say just creating, like, especially for a parent, you talk about having 3 kids. You got to make sure you have all this knowledge to spread to them too.
For sure. Because
you created them. You got to make sure you do right by them too. And that's one thing. Like I try to do as much things as possible. And people are like, "Why, Jacob? You do this, you do that, you do this." It's like I have a tool belt. I want to make sure I can give everything my kid needs for my tool belt, whatever he wants to do. And if I don't know it when he asks about it, well, we learn it together. Yeah. Because that's what we got to do. You're a teacher. For sure. You're a parent, you're a teacher. And it's like, you got to get into that tool belt. You got to get this shit out.
Well, set up as well. A lot of us, even parents, are selfish. Again, going right back to, this is the way my parents did it, the way my grandparents did it. What if who you are and what you're doing isn't for you?
Oh, yeah.
What if you're good there, but that's not where your kids are meant to be? Have you set them up and exposed them for what they need access to? Exactly. Or did you live a very selfish life and like, nope, this is it. I'm gonna work this job. I can't pass it down to you because I don't own it. Thank God I behaved well enough and I was on time and I didn't lose any marks or points, so I didn't get fired. My 401k, nope, you don't have access to that either. My benefits, nope, you don't have access. No, you don't. You see what I'm saying? So
I do.
A lot of us, even parents, live selfishly in that nature. It was all about you. Let me get out of this thing unscathed, right? As much as I can. And now, I appreciate you here. The Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance to his son, kids. You see what I'm saying? Everybody want to talk about generational wealth. Everybody want to talk about leaving a legacy. Well, leave it. Leave it.
Who's stopping you?
Exactly.
Your 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 bands a year ain't no legacy.
No, it's not.
You need that to live alone.
Exactly.
Alone.
Bruh.
If something happens, you have to put yourself in a position to do these things. And a lot of people don't realize how much blood is on.
And that is going to wrap it, guys. The episode is finished. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like it, share it with your friends and family, and be sure to follow us on all our social media pages at IOU Podcast 440. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the continued support. We'll see you soon. Bye.